Welcome to today's Tea Time audio story. It's time to slow down, take a deep breath, and enjoy a moment just for you. As you sip your favorite tea, let your mind drift into the world of stories, where imagination comes alive and anything is possible. Listening to audio stories isn't just entertaining, it's also a wonderful way to relax, spark creativity, and improve your English in a natural and enjoyable way. Stories have the power to transport us to far-off places, introduce us to new characters, and remind us of life's little lessons. So whether you're here to unwind, learn something new, or simply enjoy a quiet escape, this is your time. Get comfortable, let your worries melt away, and allow today's story to take you on a journey. Let the magic begin. For the next few days, Le Petit Délice felt different. Not in a way that customers would notice. Elise still smiled, still greeted regulars with warmth, still crafted each pastry with the same devotion she always had. But inside, where no one could see, something was shifting. Adrien stayed. After their confrontation in his office, he didn't disappear. He didn't retreat behind his carefully built walls. Instead, he showed up every morning, as he always had, but now there was something more. A touch that lingered a little longer. A glance that spoke of things left unsaid. The weight of possibility pressing against every interaction. And Elise, for the first time in a long time, allowed herself to believe in something she had convinced herself wasn't meant for her. Until the world decided to remind her otherwise. It started with a phone call. Adrien had just finished his second cup of coffee, leaning against the bakery counter while Elise worked beside him. Their conversation had been light, easy, something about his disastrous attempt at making eclairs the night before. Then his phone buzzed, and with one glance at the screen, the air around him changed. He stood a little straighter. His smile faded, replaced with something guarded, unreadable. He hesitated for only a moment before answering. Yes. Elise tried not to listen, but his voice had shifted into something colder, more distant, the voice he used when discussing business, when shutting people out. Understood, he said after a moment. I'll be there. When he hung up, he avoided her gaze, instead busying himself with his sleeve, adjusting the cufflink in a way that screamed nervous energy. She wiped her hands on her apron, turning to face him fully. What was that about? Adrien hesitated, then sighed. I need to fly to New York. Tonight. Something inside her clenched. For how long? I don't know yet. And just like that, the warmth she had allowed herself to believe in turned fragile, unsteady. Adrien. He finally met her gaze, and there was something almost apologetic in his eyes. Almost. But not quite. This is my life, Elise, he said, his voice careful, measured. I can't just walk away from it. She swallowed, forcing a nod. I know that. And she did. She had always known that. But knowing didn't make it hurt any less. That night, she found herself at Camille's apartment, sitting on the couch with a glass of wine she had barely touched. Camille, who had been silent long enough, finally sighed. You knew this could happen. Elise let out a humorless laugh. I hate that you're right. Camille nudged her. I usually am. Elise stared at the dark red liquid in her glass. What if he doesn't come back? Camille was quiet for a moment before saying, then he wasn't meant to stay. The words should have been comforting. Instead, they only made her chest ache more. Days passed. Then a week. Then two. Adrien sent messages. Not many, but enough to let her know he was thinking of her. Meetings are endless. I miss Paris. I miss your coffee. I miss you. And yet, as the days stretched on, the messages became less frequent, the spaces between them growing wider. Until finally, they stopped. Until the realization hit her, slow and painful, that maybe Camille had been right all along. Maybe Adrien Laurent had never been meant to stay. Thank you for joining today's Tea Time story. We hope you enjoyed this journey into the world of imagination and storytelling. Whether it made you smile, sparked a new thought, or simply gave you a moment to relax, we're grateful to have shared this time with you. Thank you for listening and being part of our story time. Keep dreaming, keep imagining, and we'll see you again for another magical tale soon. Until next time, take care and happy listening.